Now let's recall on the function of our kidney. So the function of our kidneys is there are two main terms if you still remember, and that is excretion and osmoregulation. So excretion is the passing out of urine, so the formation of urine is included here. In excretion, there are also different processes that takes place. The formation of urine with its respective steps over here, the process of ultrafiltration, reabsorption, okay, secretion along the renal tubule. Now we are going to move on to the second main function of the kidney, and that is osmoregulation. So the word osmo here refers to osmotic, and we have to regulate the osmotic blood pressure of the blood, and that is actually done by the kidney. So the body's water content constantly changes. Okay, this is for sure, and it depends because it depends on the intake of our food and also drinks. So what is osmoregulation? It is the process of regulating water, and don't forget to mention the salts, okay, or the dissolved ions in the body, and so that the blood osmotic pressure can be maintained at the normal range. So osmoregulation is achieved by regulating the volume of urine produced by the kidney. Now this figure is illustrating the regulation of the normal blood osmotic pressure. So in the condition where you're drinking too much water, what will happen is that the blood osmotic pressure will start to drop below the normal range. Okay, because now we say too much water, less dissolves ion. So what will happen is that the blood osmotic pressure will start to drop below the normal range. So osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus will then be less stimulated. Okay, hence the pituitary gland is less stimulated, and so less ADH is secreted from the pituitary gland. So this regulation of the blood osmotic pressure is closely related to our endocrine system. Okay, because hormones are involved. And what hormone is that? And that is the ADH, antidiuretic hormone, which is secreted by the pituitary gland. So low ADH concentrations, what will happen will cause the walls of the distal convoluted tubule and the collecting duct to become less permeable to water. So in other words, there will be less water being reabsorbed from the renal fluid into the blood capillary. Okay, less water reabsorbed because we are drinking too much, so less will be absorbed. So then less concentrated urine is generated in high volumes. Therefore, blood osmotic pressure returns to normal. Okay, do you get the point? See, in the condition where you're drinking too much water, what will happen is that in the end, you will pass out this urine which is less concentrated, isn't it? And it is not as yellow, it is not concentrated. Because less water is being reabsorbed back to the renal from the renal fluid into our blood. Therefore, we will excrete urine in high volume and less concentrated. So these two aspects you must mention. If they ask you the characteristics of the urine, then you will say it is less concentrated, it is high in volume. But in a condition where you're drinking too little water, or in a condition where there is loss of water due to vigorous activity, so our body will need to reserve more water, isn't it? Because you're losing water, the homeostatic mechanism takes place and our body will have to retain water. So in that condition, what will happen is that this blood osmotic pressure will increase above the normal range, increase in the condition where you're drinking too little water. Okay, less water. So osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus are then stimulated. Therefore, This will cause the pituitary gland to be stimulated, hence more ADH is being secreted. So high ADH, what will be the effect? It will cause the walls of the distal convoluted tubule collecting duct to become more permeable to water. So this will cause more water to be absorbed from the renal fluid back into the blood capillary because we want the water. Our body is in a state of maybe dehydration, so we want to retain water. So what will happen in the end is that we will produce urine, which is very concentrated and low in volume. Then only our blood osmotic pressure can return to normal.